Why hello there everyone, this is Jam764 and welcome back to another Transport Fever video. And a new update as far as the vehicle list goes. I'm going to be skipping the blog post mostly because there's nothing really in it aside from a few more details about the vehicles, but not much. But I'll just show off this quick picture. As you can see, mostly pre-rendered from what I can tell, though it looks like a mix between a game screenshot and Photoshop to me. And you can see that the BE56 Cobra actually has an interior now. And in my opinion, it makes the Tram look even better than it is, but we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. So I'm going to make this short because unfortunately I seem to have caught spring fever, which unlike transport fever is a very bad thing. So I'm not feeling well enough to make this any longer than necessary, but it'll be that long in the first place. So starting off the list we have the Haley Tram, or is it Holly? Never quite remembered. Which again hails from train fever. No surprise there, in my opinion. It used to be called the San Diego Electric Trolley, from what I can remember. But in Train Fever, it came out in 1889. But, no wait, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the, San Diego one. Beneath the, European list. What am I doing? See, spring fever has struck. Oh boy. No, I'm sorry, the Haley Tram. There we go. So never mind, the start date is still the same. The top speed is still 25 kilometers an hour. The weight has been reduced from 20 tons to 12 tons. The power has been drastically reduced from 100 kilowatts down to just 30. And the capacity has exploded from 9 to 18, like I guess it should be. But let's take a closer look at some of the trams, because they have some beautiful interiors. If it lets me. There it goes. I mean, just look at that. Isn't it pretty? I can't wait to see people filling up this. Though I wish there was a driver. Though I'm pretty sure they might add one later. Maybe. Anyway, up next we have the CE22. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Chist? Not quite sure, really. Oh boy. Anyway, this one did have a year change. Originally it was 1907 for the build date to 1950. Now it starts at 1901, and no idea on the end date, as with all of these vehicles so far. Its top speed is still the same at 40 kilometers an hour. The weight is still the same at 20 tons. The power has been drastically reduced from 200 kilowatts down to 60, but the capacity is now 4 times as high. So it went from 10 in Train Fever up to 40. So I'm just seeing a trend here. There are going to be a ton of people running around in Transport Fever from what I can tell. But these are some huge capacities for little vehicles, which means the real vehicles are just going to be insane, aside from the ships, of course. Here's a closer look at this one. And again, you can just see this beautiful interior on the inside. I want to play the game now, come on. Urban Games. Y'all can make the game come out a little quicker, can't you? Let's see, what else was there? I think the crocodile was there. Pretty sure it was. But, something I know that's definitely new to the list, but old, if you count Train Fever. The AE47's back. Which, if I take a look at that... Its start year is still the same at 1927. The top speed is still the same. The weight is 2 tons lighter. The power is still the same, and the traction and the tractive effort is also the same. So it's literally the same vehicle for the most part, slightly lighter, but it looks gorgeous. I mean, look at this. Just look at the detail that they put into this thing compared to like Train Fever. It's beautiful and shiny, despite the fact that it's clearly worn down slightly in this image. I really like what they did to all the models and all. It's gonna be a beautiful game, whether it sucks or is very good. I say it will be very good though. I think the Class A4 was in there. Can't remember. It's been a while since I looked this list. Actually, no, the Class A4 was not in the last video. Alright then. So the Class A4, still same release year in 1935. Top speed is still the same at 145 kilometers an hour, or as I remember it, 128 miles per hour. It's one of those few kilometers to miles that I actually remember, because, eh. Its weight is now 1 ton heavier, from 104 to 105. The power is still the same, and attractive effort has been increased from 120 to 158. So it should hit 145 kilometers an hour even faster now. I think the arrow, yeah, the arrow was in the last video, I believe. Pretty sure. Next we have the Hathaway. I think that's how you pronounce it. Should be. That's how I've always pronounced it, at least. Shit. Here, its build date has been increased from 1930 to 1935. Its top speed is still 160 kilometers an hour. Its weight has stayed the same from Train Fever at 243 tons. The power is also the same, and the tractive effort is half a kilonewton less than Train Fever. So it's practically the same engine, but again, it just looks beautiful. So that one is extremely dusty. Was the red arrow in there last time? I don't think it was, now that I think about it. Well, I'll just go over it, just in case. Yeah, I don't think the red arrow was in there. And again, forgive me guys for not being 100% certain, but I just... Hey, this actually came out pretty early this morning. So I like to jump on these as soon as I can, since I don't have time this evening. And second of all, I'm sick, so I didn't really bother going back and checking. But, the CLE, 2/4 red arrow, original build date in Train Fever was 1936, but now it's 1935, so a year earlier. Top speed of 125 kilometers still. The weight has been drastically reduced from 32 tons down to just 13. The power is still the same at 315 kilowatts. The tractive effort has been reduced by 5 kilonewtons from 50 to 45. And the capacity is now 70 compared to the 15 in Train Fever, which actually makes this thing useful. Because even as fast as this thing was in Train Fever, it still didn't really make profits. Really worked with it. And it's shiny now, which makes it look a whole lot better in my opinion. I can't wait to use this thing. It actually makes me want to use the European stuff again, now I think about it. But up next we have the Class E94, which is still built in 1940 from Train Fever. Top speed is still the same at 90 kilometers an hour. The weight has been reduced by 1 ton to 118 tons. The power is still exactly the same, and the tractive effort is also the same. So, like the AE47, basically the same vehicle, just looks a whole lot better, as you can tell. Next up, we have my favorite of the European vehicles, the Classy 103.1, which I think is different than the Train Fever version. No, it's not, never mind. I was thinking of a different version of it I had searched up. But this thing has had its build date increased from 1965 up to 1970. Its top speed is 200 kilometers an hour like it used to be in Train Fever. The weight has been reduced from 112 tons to 80 tons. The power has been significantly increased from 5,940 kilowatts to 7,440 kilowatts. This thing is just going to be powerful and fast. So I mainly used it for express passenger and Train Fever, but now it's going to be even more useful for high-speed freight as well, which is beautiful. And attractive effort has been reduced by 2 kilonewtons from 314 to 312. Very beautiful machine, if I do say so myself. Probably my favorite of the European high-speed locomotives that are just standalone. Next up, we have the Class 218, which had its build date increased as well from 1968 to 1971. The top speed is still the same as 140 kilometers an hour. The weight is still the same at 80 tons. The power has been reduced from 2,500 kilowatts down to 1,839 kilowatts. And the tractive effort's still the same. But for some reason, you can't really see inside this thing too much. I mean, you can, it's just that reflection's a bit too, what is it, opaque? Yeah, opaque, in my opinion. But again, it still looks nice. Not as shiny as some of the other ones we've seen. But it works, I guess. I still don't like diesel. But finally, we have what we really came for in this list. The BE56 Cobra. Which, this thing in Train Fever is probably the bane of anyone's existence if you didn't prepare for it right. Just this thing is stupidly long. But hopefully they fixed that. Because I believe they said city generation has been completely redone as far as city building and stuff, but we'll have to see, obviously. Regardless, its build date is still the same in 2001. The top speed's still the same at 70 kilometers an hour. The weight's still the same at 39 tons. The power is still the same at 625 kilowatts, and the capacity has been increased from 24 to 96. Let's just say this is probably the best it's ever looked, regardless. You know, shiny, you can see the interior. The interior's beautiful. I really like this thing now. I just wish we could play with it right now. But aside from that, nothing's really been detailed. So they did add the developer blog 1 video, which I've already covered, at least on my old channel. I uploaded it to my playlist on this one. But aside from that, nothing else has really changed from what I can tell. Unless there's been new screenshots, though they didn't say anything about that. I doubt it. Nope. So I doubt there's been anything else as well. But this has been JM764, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone.